Hey, listen up. We got another episode of Wise Kracks, featuring the crack man himself, Bill Krackomberger, and our co-host, John Orlando, straight from Las Vegas. Wise Kracks is your ticket inside the world of sports betting, with tips, picks, special guests, and more. Only on WSN.com.
And we are back at Wise Kracks in studio for the, I want to say, third week in a row. Mr. Krackomberger, you're starting to embrace living here more.
I will be leaving tonight for just a little couple, literally 48 hours. Probably back on Saturday. And then Are
you going East Coast? No.
I am, believe it or not.
No way. You're going East Coast and back?
48-hour turnaround.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
That's just to get it in for the weekend.
I got a couple things to do there. Yeah,
okay.
I have some. It involves DraftKings too. Yeah.
Wow.
But I'm going there and coming back, and then I'm. Let's see. And then I'll be back there for college basketball the first couple of days. I want to see what happens. See what kind of bets they take. We'll see.
Before we get into the show, I see you've got this Panera coffee, and I'm just wondering when you go in there. I'm on this 7. I'm on the day 7 of this new silly diet, so I'm just curious though. One of my favorite things that I'm no longer allowed to eat is at Panera. It's the pumpkin muffin top.
My God!
Just the top of the muffin. Tell me you eat those. No. You're smiling. No,
but I mean it just sounds good.
So good.
Really, I want to start doing
next
that.
time you go in there.
Don't worry, I get something worse. I get a cinnamon crunch bagel. Yeah, and put you in a nursing home.
That's good too, but get that pumpkin muffin top.
Okay.
It's just the top of the muffin. It's just the
Seinfeld episode.
It's the part you want.
Tops.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the part you want.
Yeah.
So good.
So before I went there though, I was at a light and there was a lady in front of me. It said baby on board. Light turned green. Obviously she was paying attention to her baby or her phone or something. She didn't go. But yet the guy behind me started to go.
And you didn't go.
I didn't go.
So that means
he rear-ended me, put a dent in my car. And I gave him a pass because he was messed up on pot. You know,
really like high.
The whole
high
car
as a kite.
reeked of pot. He was actually nice. He's like, man, I am gonna get killed if the cops come here. I don't know what that meant. He's like, I goes, I'm gonna get killed. He said, I know you got a dent in your car, man. I'll fix the dent. I said, well, call me. I let him call me, so I knew I had his right phone number. And I said, yeah, man, just go. But air out, man. Pull over to the side of the road, air out. That's what I told him to do.
Really?
I told him to air out. I said, air out, my man. The whole car reeks of pot.
It's like Cheech and Chong.
Now, I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't even know. I thought when he said that to me, I thought that meant he maybe didn't have, he didn't have car insurance, by the way. He admitted that to me. But I thought that meant he didn't have.
He might have the trifecta.
No
license,
a
no
warrant
insurance.
Or something.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he might.
I wasn't even thinking. Now I come in here and ask you guys. I don't know about this. Is it illegal to smoke pot when you're driving?
It's a DUI.
And then Travis said it's a DUI.
Yeah, it's a DUI.
I didn't even
you're
know
under
that.
the influence.
Yeah, listen, I'm not a rat. I mean, I don't want him to hurt somebody else though.
Right.
I told him pull over, man, air out, man. That's what I told him. Literally. I mean. And anyway, it's just something that happens, I guess. I do have a dent in the back of the car, but what are you going to do?
Now, will you end up calling him and saying, hey, send me some money?
Yeah. He probably won't send anything.
Right.
No, seriously, I know what I'm up against.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you tell him, hey,
let him go.
I got
What's
a
it going
friend
to
at the
cost me?
phone
A couple
company.
$100 or something.
He knows your address. We know your address.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What are you going to do?
What do you do?
These things happen.
Yeah.
Big guest today.
Oh, my God. You want to tell him? You want to tease it?
Yeah, Darren Rovell from Action, formerly ESPN. Giant collector. Wow.
Yeah. We were talking about some of the stuff.
Was it Robert
show.
that sent us that collection in Atlantic City? It was a big card, not only card, collector event in Atlantic City.
George Carmona just heard you say who the guest was, and he just gave it a wow.
Oh.
He just gave it a wow.
Darren? Good.
Wow.
Yeah, no, he's good.
All right, let's get into things. Let's talk about big topic number one of my favorite things to talk about that we won't be talking about it pretty soon because it's almost the end of baseball.
Yep.
But the World Series is getting ready to go underway with the Phillies versus the Astros. The Yankees did not make it as I predicted many times.
My last tweet.
Yeah.
You probably don't know yet. I sent it this morning at 8:57 a.m. Out of control pricing. Price gouging like everything else in this country right now. Game 1.
Yeah.
Get in price. Standing. Over $900.
Stop.
Game 2. Over $1,000.
That is crazy.
Game 3 in Philly. $1,300. $20,000 they're paying for tickets here.
I would never.
This is out of control.
I would never.
It's just out of control. The price gouging. Oh, my man Schwab. Howie Schwab, forget that. It's not the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is out of control, man, these prices. I mean, they just take the fun and everything out of it for the fans, for the true baseball fans. It's all for the corporate executives, while the true fans are sitting in the bars in South Philly rooting for the games.
Yep.
It's not really fair, man.
Let me ask you, I see in the notes that a bettor at BetMGM in Colorado placed a $50 bet on the Astros to beat the Phillies in the World Series.
Yeah, exactly.
That being the matchup at the beginning of the year.
It seems like too high of odds, but I'm sure I'm wrong.
2,500 to 1. Am I seeing that?
$50 to win 125,000. $50 to win 125,000. You know what though? There's so many combinations, but you have to eliminate most of the bad teams
for sure.
I mean, the Astros.
Astros might be there. Yankees might be there.
The Phillies might be there.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like really. I don't know. Maybe it's easy. It's easy to look at now and say, "Oh, that seems like too much."
Right.
But the better story is he says he's not hedging it, which I don't know. If you're only betting $50, I mean, I don't know. It seems like that would be that's a lot of money to anybody. But I don't ever recommend hedging either, unless it's a situation probably like this.
Yeah,
where you're betting 50 to win 125,000. That's a lot of money for a lot of people.
Do you want me
to tell? A lot of money for me.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you the bad news?
What?
Well, it's really the bad news for this guy.
Okay.
He's not cashing that ticket. Phillies beat the Astros all day long.
Well,
Bryce Harper is possessed right now.
Just when I thought I had the winner, folks, because I made a bet against bet. I know a really bad Jonah who likes the Astros. I know a second guy that came aboard and liked I had no opinion, and liked the Astros. So I made a rather large bet. Just a pure bet against these two guys.
Yeah.
Literally, I bet against these two guys, made this bet at Caesars, and now John's got to come in and poison it.
How? Wait a minute. No, I'm not going to let you off on this one. Wait a minute. Let me tell you about my credentials here, Bill. Okay. At the beginning of the year, I predicted Yankees-Dodgers World Series.
Okay.
When I saw
not bad, wrong on both sides, but
wrong on both sides. Yeah. Although they did have the best two records in baseball.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we used to have the second best, I think, right?
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right, because the Yankees had that slide.
They did.
When the Yankees were having that slide, when Stanton went down, I was like, oh, they're a 500 team.
Yeah.
I nixed the Yankees. I actually said I don't even think the Yankees are going to win that division.
In August, they were 10-16.
Yeah,
right.
I didn't think they'd win that division, but then the Blue Jays faltered. Everybody else faltered. Whatever.
Yep.
My point is, in this last round, though, I said the Phillies would have no problem with San Diego, which they didn't. And I said the Yankees, I've always said, they can't beat the Astros.
Okay.
So your money is safe, Bill Krackomberger.
No, I listen, the two guys that I bet against, yes, they are, I think they are so bad. They just, they can't win anything.
Yeah.
And it's really a bet against them. And
I like it.
Yeah, so I made a bet. And by the way, I made the bet where Mattress Mac has the big exposure. Caesars has the big exposure there. Mattress Mac bet about $10 million. He's the guy in Houston that owns these stores, these mattress stores.
Yeah.
And I'm almost sick of hearing about him.
How does he get that bet down?
He flew around the country to make the bets. He bet $2 million at Caesars here, went back again, bet another $2 million. He bet a little at Barstool, a little at Wynn.
Now, when he makes those bets in all those places, is that a long conversation with the sports book? Is it a?
It's probably a issue that's already talked about ahead of time. He's not going to fly all the way to.
He calls and talks to someone and he says, "Look, this is what I want to do."
Yeah, he flew to Lake Charles and made a bet at the Caesars brand there, and they gave him $2 million. By the way, the Caesars brand had nothing but good things from me. They're taking bets from everyone.
Yeah.
Now. Imagine this. William Hill is the place that threw me out in the past. I threw anyone out with a pulse in the past. Caesars took over. It's a total different ball game.
Really?
They take
Caesars
bets.
bought William Hill?
Caesars bought William Hill. Caesars takes bets from anybody.
So are you back at William Hill?
Large sports. Yes.
You're back. Okay.
I'm back. Thanks to them and thanks to someone in management, upper management, for saying, hey, let's take these bets. We need these bets for volume. We need these bets to sharpen up our line. So good.
Let me ask you this. I know if you're like a big blackjack player and you're going to play like $1 million, $2 million, you can negotiate
everything.
Rebate.
Oh, yeah.
Same with this for Mattress Mac?
No rebate, but they can negotiate the price of how much money he can bet and get down. So he got down to win 75.
So if they
million.
lose though, he won't get like $100,000 back, or like they don't do anything like that for sports.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, but their lines are skewed so much. I'm going to get the current line now. What that means is they realize now they have so much exposure paying out all this money, tens of millions to Mattress Mac,
right?
That it actually becomes just like the Super Bowl money line, same thing there. Mattress Mac also lost that. He lost that bet, and it became a really good bet for us bettors on the money line. So here we go. Current lines at Caesars. Let's see if it's the same. It still is. As you could see, everywhere in the country this is, John. Here's the Phillies, plus 156, plus 160,
wow,
plus 160, plus 170 at Caesars brand. So
wow.
the best.
You can get plus 170 for the Phillies
on the World
to win
Series.
It all right now.
Yes. And by the way, I took plus 175.
Dude,
yeah, so it was
that all day long.
So I just took that as a nothing crazy. It's just just a bet because of the value. You're getting the value because of the Mattress Mac doing that. And,
right.
So it should be interesting.
You don't do anything crazy with that. You put down what, $1 million? Couple million.
$3,000.
Okay,
nothing.
$3,000.
I mean, I say that, and that is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I'll bet not five, but 3, 4, 5 times that amount on something.
I got you.
So it's not. Yeah. So anyway, that's that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mac.
You're not going to believe the next item. You're not. This one blew my mind.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers will be a double-digit underdog for the first time in his career.
See if it's still the same.
This weekend, as the Packers are plus 10.5 at the Bills.
It's now 11.5.
Wow.
There's no 10.5s. Here, it's 11 at DraftKings, 11 at a couple other places, but 11.5 at Circa, Caesars, Westgate, Wynn, 11.5. So
let me ask you this: what's the money line on that?
So the money line, let's get the best
money.
It's
got to be 3-1 or something.
Plus 450 at Caesars.
Am I crazy that I would take that?
This year?
It's still Aaron Rodgers.
We just had Tampa Bay just lost as a 13.5-point favorite.
Right.
We've had, I think, 4 of the 6 double-digit favorites in the NFL have lost outright this year. So, no.
Even though I've said for the last 2 weeks, Brady and Rodgers are done. They're done. Don't bet on them. They're done.
The Bays are over.
Yeah.
Green Bay, Tampa.
The Bays are over.
And that's that.
Yeah. Okay, next item. This is a good one for me. Dak returns, and the Cowboys' defense. Dak didn't really look that great. I mean, his receivers didn't help him a couple times, but he underthrew, he overthrew.
That game was really Detroit was going in on like the 1-yard line and fumbled.
Yeah,
that changed the whole momentum of the game. Wouldn't they have went ahead with that score?
100%.
Oh God, that changed the whole game.
It was a big one. It was a moment. I mean, the Cowboys' defense was really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good game. Yeah, Cowboys. So I mean, for a game like that, so with Dak, they have to stick with him. You got to stick with him. I kind of want the other guy, even though he threw those interceptions. I don't know.
I got news for you too. I haven't told this to anybody yet. I think yesterday we were talking about on the group call, so you might know. So the guy you met, my buddy from South Carolina.
Yep.
He wanted 5 entries in the Survivor at Circa.
Yep.
So I signed up 5. I signed up 6 actually in my name. The first 5 gave to him, and he is still alive.
Really?
For 3 on the top 3 for 3 of his 5 entries.
Wow.
Still alive.
How's that possible?
125 people left out of 6,100, and so that means his entry's worth about 50,000 and change. That's if you divide the prize pool of 6.2 million, winner take all, by the 125. It's like. It's 50-something grand. So
wait, it's winner take all. It's winner take all. $6 million.
Yes.
He's got.
Now it's only week 7. It couldn't. Theoretically, like last year, it went down to the end, and I think 5 of them split.
Yeah.
$1 million change each. That can happen this year, but probably not. Yeah. But he's in great shape.
Yeah.
Because he has Kansas City, Buffalo, and Philadelphia left. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Okay. UFC. I don't know if you heard. There's a little bit of controversy over the past weekend with the fights.
Definitely heard about it.
Sugar Sean O'Malley.
You guys know I'm not a giant UFC fan, but right away, there's a lot of betting going on in this fight.
Yeah.
And they're saying, should this have happened and stuff? So,
yeah. Sugar Sean won a split decision over Peter Yan. I could argue that he won rounds 1 and 3, but I definitely understand why people say it was a robbery. Sean just tweeted today, I watched the fight. I definitely won.
Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting fights. I gave you pretty good. I don't know if you track it, but I gave you Beneil Dariush. I said he's a good underdog.
Yes, you did.
He won at plus 180. I gave you O'Malley also, who was a dog. He won. I told you Aljamain would beat T.J. Dillashaw, and he did. The only
that was the fight that I'm sorry, it was the wrong fight. That was the controversy.
That controversy was T.J.
That's what I was referring to.
T.J.'s shoulder, I believe his left shoulder has dislocated multiple times during training camp.
Now, would he be allowed to fight with that shoulder if they knew it ahead of time?
I doubt it.
Wow, that's a scam.
I doubt it. I don't know for sure, but I don't think the commission would have let him go.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Dana even said, that's something the UFC should have known.
Robert just said, no, they wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
so is this a fine? Is this...
I don't know if it's a fine. I mean, the flip side is props to TJ. I mean, he made it through round 1 somehow, and basically with one arm on the ground.
His left arm during training. Robert just said, "Wow."
Yeah.
Wow. So Dana White was upset because I was like, people were telling to call him and saying,
I think he was more shocked. I don't know if he was upset's the right word, but he was just like, yeah, that's something he's like, because someone said, did you guys know? And he said, no. I mean, how would we have known unless TJ's camp or TJ tells us?
Right.
But he said, that's something we should know.
But TJ and his camp, obviously
they're not going to tell anyone. Right. Yeah. But, props to him. He could have just shown up, taken the check, and let the ref stop the fight or just said he couldn't continue or let the shoulder pop out. And, he wanted back in there round 2 and was still trying to win. So, I mean, definitely gets the Warrior note. But, yeah, I was 3 for 3 going into the main event. And that had 2 guys, Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev.
Big one.
Both fighters on crazy win streaks. And I said I'd learned my lesson and I wouldn't. I don't know if you remember. I said I learned my lesson. I wouldn't bet against Oliveira because he's won like his last 8 or 9, 10 fights, whatever. And I said, but this will be the time that, of course, now if I was going to bet on him, of course he's going to lose, and he lost.
Oh wow!
And he got submitted, which never happens to him.
Okay,
crazy. But it was a fun.
So this week, this is going to surprise you guys. So is the UFC card this week? Let me just tell you guys something here. I have a friend of mine that's a very large bettor. He likes this guy Arlovsky, right? Andrei Arlovsky against Marcos Rogerio. I'm looking at this fight right here, John.
Yeah.
There's a reason I'm telling you this. See this here? That fight right there. Do you know them guys?
Yeah. I mean, he's an old
Don't ask me why.
Legend.
Don't ask me why.
Yeah.
This guy is flying into town Friday night with the purpose of betting $15,000 on the dog. He's
plus
like
190.
Yes.
I'm looking at
it's
right?
plus 210 at Circle.
Plus 210.
Yeah. So I don't know if that means anything to you, but this guy's a very big bettor, and he's not a dummy either. But let's see what happens.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, Bill, super excited for our guest today. He's been over at CNBC. He was the sports business go-to guy at ESPN. He joined the Action Network in 2018. He's a fantastic follow on Twitter, as I know you know. Of course, I speak of Darren Rovell is with us today. How are you, Darren?
Hey, Darren.
Guys, how are you?
Good. And you're right. He's a really good follow on Twitter because he tweets a lot.
Yeah.
I wish I tweeted more. It's actually really, he's got a real informative Twitter page.
Yeah.
Especially on collectibles, on memorabilia, on just anything, Action Network. So good stuff.
And the memorabilia,
everything's betting these days, whether it's collectibles, whether it's NFTs, whether it's I put it all in the same bucket. It is all making bets.
That's so true, isn't it? It really is. Yeah,
it really is. It's forms of gambling and betting and hoping you're getting good value on this card or this collectible item.
Yeah,
I never really thought of it like that. You're right, Darren. That is, and you were at the biggest show of the year. It was in Atlantic City this year, and I just seen one of our producers, one of our other producers, Robert, sent me a tweet of your stand you had in Atlantic City of all your different memorabilia and stuff. Now, do you bring all that stuff there, and are you selling almost everything you have, or just selling?
I'm selling almost nothing.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
I have enough of a lot of these things are one of one, or they're rare enough so that I can control the market. So I say the price. It's got to be the price that I'm willing to get rid of it at. If it's not, I'm sorry. There's no negotiating. So, what's interesting is that even though I kind of lean towards sports, the one thing year over year at the National Sports Collectors Convention that has proven to be the showstopper is Walt Disney autographs. People just
wow.
His autograph is so fantastical. And I would say over the years, so you used to be able to buy a Walt Disney signature 5 years ago for $2,500. If you could get a really good one for less than 10,000 right now, you're doing well.
Wow.
That's amazing. All the things you figure you can collect, Walt Disney would be the big collector item.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And so you said something good there. You notice what he said? He has one of one.
Yeah.
So that means he can control the market.
Yeah.
Now there is. I will say, Bill, there's an issue with that, right? Because one of one means there's not liquidity in the marketplace, right? So card people are comforted by the fact that they say, well, yesterday it sold on eBay for this, right? So like I should be here. And then if you think about the fact that most collectors are card people, they do have a hard time when they can't do a comp, when they can't compare it to something else. But I am comfortable in the one of one world, not only buying, but selling, because you can't look around, right? There are 2 Steve Jobs autographs in the world that have Steve Jobs with his inscription, which he did occasionally, "Go change the world, Steve Jobs." Jim Irsay bought one for $787,000 in an Apple manual, and I have the other.
Wow.
So what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want it? Do you not? That's the kind of world. And I also live in and this is a real side business for me. And again, this is gambling. This is the same thing as gambling. I do a lot of auction arbitrage where there's a description that's not good enough. There is a auction. There's something that's being auctioned that's in the wrong auction house. There's something that the picture isn't good. And I take advantage of all that.
Gotcha. So, and there's a buying and selling, which is arbitrage right away.
Yeah.
Just like there is in the sports betting market, you're buying, but you're selling, but you're buying something, you're selling it maybe right away.
It's very much the same. It's
kind of thing.
Very much the same kind of thing. Yes.
So that autograph that you have of Steve Jobs, do you think it's worth the $780,000 that Irsay paid? Or no, okay, so it's not worth as much, maybe because it's not. Does it have that?
But I paid I paid $27,000 for mine.
Oh, so
Irsay overpaid, but I underpaid.
Ooh,
and so so that's good for me.
Okay, so what would you think a price on that is? Do you think you can get $150,000?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Wow.
That's look at that.
Whew.
Buying something that's you're talking probably 10 times the. We have some of the
story of there's a story of I mean, most of my returns when I sell are in the memorabilia world are in between 20 and 40x.
Wow. Jesus.
It's also kind of the idea of so PSA, which grades cards, all of a sudden decided they were grading tickets, and I said, okay, tickets have a real scarcity, false scarcity with cards. Tickets are kind of really scarce because naturally it's dwindled down. And I identified this market. I spent big on it, and I got key moments like Tiger Woods' first PGA Tour event for his first round. I got that ticket. I paid $2,000 for it. And less than a year later, I sold it for $71,000. So like, you try to identify, jump on these markets, and then make your move.
Wow. Okay. Because we had you down as having that ticket. So he sold that. We have a lot of things here that we found out, and hopefully some of them are right, or they're all right. Ticket from the 1988 World Series game signed by Kirk Gibson and Vince Scully. You still have that?
I do, and I was promised by Dennis Eckersley's son that he would get me Eck on that ticket.
Wow. Ooh, wow. Yeah, John's a big Dodger fan.
Yeah.
John and his dad were very close to Lasorda, and he went to a lot of games all the time growing up, living in Brentwood and stuff. So that's an interesting. Not Eckersley.
Oh, man.
He was on the mound.
Well, I have my Dodge. I'm not deep on Dodgers tickets, but I do have 2 signed Rick Monday Saves the Flag tickets.
Oh,
that's
wow.
cool.
Out in center when he grabbed the flag. And
Yeah. I remember that.
Oh, my God.
Have you ever sold anything that you regretted selling?
Good question.
Yes, I bought something back less than 12 hours later for more money.
12 hours?
Because you just were like, damn, why did I sell that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I bought The day that Jeff Bezos basically said he would no longer be the CEO of Amazon, I was like, oh my God, this guy's not going to go to anything. He's going to be living on a private island and he's going to be on a private plane, and you will literally never have access to him again. You will never be able to get a Jeff Bezos autograph. So I bought for like $3,000. I bought on a Time magazine his signature. I sold it for $7,500, and within 12 hours, I called the guy. I go, hey, I can't. I go, I'll give you what, $10,000. I'll give you a replacement fee or whatever you call it, and just send it back to me. And that happened.
Oh, he went for it.
Wow.
He said, okay, yeah. Well, sure, the guy made $2,500 in a matter of hours. Yeah. Okay, how about the Cubs playoff game known as Bartman game ticket, Jeffrey Mayer game ticket? Still have them?
I have them.
Wow.
The crazy ones, like, so I have a couple in a bucket here. I didn't plan to show. I don't know if I could show because the screen is small. Okay. There's a couple things that I've kind of cycled through. So am I full screen right now? So this is 1934 Northwestern Michigan.
Okay.
It is, if you can read it here.
Pull it back a little bit, actually. Right? No, it's not going to come in. All right, it's okay. Just tell us what it is.
Oh, it's not coming in because my blur on my screen. So maybe hold on one second. Okay. Hold on one second.
You got a de-blur?
I got a de-blur.
Wow.
How's that?
Better. Much better.
Okay, so this is wrong way. Northwestern Michigan, 1934. It's Gerald Ford's last game as captain in Michigan.
Wow. Jesus.
My dad would like that.
That's pretty cool. We got this is one of 3 that exist. This is November 17th, 1984. Bulls 76ers. It's Michael Jordan's first game against Dr. J, but it's very valuable because it is the first game Michael Jordan wore Air Jordans.
Oh wow. Oh cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a crazy one. So so you have these ones that are good. To see if there's anything else that's
now they're all graded. They get all graded.
They're all graded. I mean, I send them to get graded. We have these are on its way to getting graded. This ticket right here.
Yep.
This is the O.J. Simpson car chase game.
Oh wow.
Game 5 of the 1994 NBA Finals. So it's and I do love what I love about collecting and doing this stuff is like, things are so obscure sometimes and they're cool. Like this is one of my coolest tickets. It's got to go to get graded. It's the game when on the scoreboard at the Phillies game, they wrote Osama bin Laden has been killed.
Oh, wow.
And it's signed by Robert O'Neill, the guy who killed him.
Oh, my God.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
He wrote USA. Wow. Anyway, these things are real.
Let me ask you, because I'm a cynical guy. Grew up in New York, New Jersey, an Italian Jewish family. Maybe that's why. I'm just, I am. I'm very cynical. This company, my brother used to have a baseball card store back in the 80s. And let me ask you, these companies that grade this stuff, he basically told me that a lot of this stuff is, if you have someone on the inside that's on the inside of these grading companies, you can do a lot better.
I think it's changed a little bit. I think as these companies have become public companies, there's a lot more cameras. There's a lot more things that, these guys are not only being, they're being looked at like NFL referees at this point.
Really? Okay.
I think it's become
such big business.
Yeah, it's become harder. ESA's, which is grading these things, it's a $4.5 billion company.
Wow.
So this is not fly by night.
Oh wow. So are they public? Did you say that? It's a public company?
They were public, Collectors Universe, and then they were bought out for more than $1 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So there's big money involved in the game.
It's hard. I try to get my things graded faster. That's my thing. I try to use my power to get them faster, and it's not easy. And the one thing that I think is a little bit crazy is that the more valuable your item is, the more you wind up paying.
That's amazing. Shouldn't it be one price for everything?
They're incentivized to give you higher grades overall because of that.
All right. Yeah, that's interesting. So you'll send something. Give us an actual item. Something you send. What's the price to grade something? Give us any middle of the road.
A ticket is $50 to grade if I want it back in 6 months. It's $150 to grade if I want it back in 3 months. And it's $300 to grade if I want it back in a month.
Is there that much of a long list, a backup at this company?
Backup, huge backup. Yeah, huge backup. Okay, wow. and then let's say like on a Willie Mays rookie, right, 1951 rookie card. If they graded a 2, it's $10,000. If they want upgrading it a 3, it's $15,000. If they want upgrading it a 4, it's $25,000. With each grade, like here's a crazy example. A Michael Jordan 1986 Fleer card. If it's a 10, it's worth $190,000.
Wow.
If it's a 9, it's worth $19,000.
Wow. So if they grade it a 10, they're going to charge you more money than a 9.
They will. Yes.
So they're incentivized.
But you won. But people don't understand how precipitously these things go down. So they go, "Oh my God, I got a Jordan," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's a 6, which is $4,200."
Right. Yeah, of course, the CrackWins app, which is available on Apple. It's available on Google Play, or just go to crackwins.com. And I've got a lot of friends. You know, I don't know if you realize how many friends I have that are on CrackWins. If I had to guess, if I took roll, I won't mention names, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have at least 6 come off the top of my head, but I want to say there's closer to 10.
That's amazing.
And I believe they are all $500 people.
Really?
Is that the works? Is the works 500? Yeah, I think they're all the works people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to talk about the company giving you a little bone. No,
right?
So yeah, we're firing away on NFL props and NFL in general totals once in a while. But I'm down on teasers. There's so much price gouging with teasers. I hate even giving them out. But however, the big thing, NCAA basketball starting here in 2 weeks. Oh my God. If you haven't
I'm looking at your record.
Yet,
I'm looking at your. Can I tell them your record?
Oh, well, that's an NBA record.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, lifetime NBA.
Lifetime NBA CrackWins. Is that 909?
609 and
609. I have no glasses on. Sorry, 609 is 58.2%. I see
totals.
That loud and clear.
We do a lot of totals, so yeah.
58%. For a guy that keeps telling me that you hit 60% NFL and never do it again, I keep seeing numbers pretty damn close to 60%. A lot with you.
Listen, it's real simple. There's not many services. There's only one, I think. It's like literally only 2 services I know that even win, and both of them, including mine. We give out stuff that is obtainable numbers, and I can't stand these places that give out numbers at one sports book. These services, they're doing a disservice to you saying, oh, bet this at Rivers, bet this at MGM, bet this at PointsBet. That's ridiculous. You're padding your record doing that. I hate it. That's someone padding their record. In other words,
it's also it's a book you can't even get the number.
The obtainable number nationwide at the other 50 sports books is over under 50 yards.
Right.
And you want to give it out at Barstool because they have 41.5, and you're going to grade your winner or loss on that when all the public has to grade theirs on 50. It's not fair.
It's got to be like a William Hill or a DraftKings, right? It's got to be one of the big boys.
It's disgusting what goes on out there. We don't do that. Right. We give you an obtainable number. I could pad my record like they do, and a lot of them do it too. I'm not doing that. So
I think they all do it except you.
No, they don't all do it. There's another service. Yeah, there's reputable services out there. A couple of them.
See, just the fact that you'll say that.
Yeah. No, there's a couple of them, but most of them are real bad.
Yeah.
So anyway, crackwins.com, CrackWins app, great stuff. College basketball starting. This is going to be a great season again. That first 2 months of college basketball. Oh my God.
And there's still a lot of football left.
Now, that's not to say you don't have to stay at your computer and know these plays are coming, because as soon as I give a play out, it moves.
Right.
It's going to move.
That's important for them to know, too,
So
is that when you give it out, you can't be asleep at the wheel. You need to be ready. You give it out at the same time every week?
No, just whenever
it goes out. But they set your notifications. They get
Yep.
the notification, and it's on them. They need to go get it.
Perfect.
And then what do you advise if, let's say, someone's working, they couldn't get to the phone, and they're almost a day late? What should they do?
So it's a great question. In college basketball, like if the line is 2 and now it's -3 after we give it out, no, it's not a play no more.
Just don't play.
It's key numbers. If it's 19 and now it's 19.5 or 20, you could probably play it.
Okay.
The variance in that number compared to key number, the lower numbers, especially it depends on the total. If the total's a lower total, it's more likely going to land on that, closer to that number. So,
got it.
There you go.
Okay, and then after they download the Crack Wins app, they should immediately head on over to WSN.com and see if they can claim some signing bonuses.
WSN.com this week got some new ones. I don't know these sports books.
Really? Constantly new ones.
Owner's Box.
Never heard of it.
$500 deposit match. Outlast, $200 deposit match.
Literally, those are brand new.
They're brand new. But guys, I go to when you're at WSN.com, you go to your jurisdiction. So we'll go. Let's change it up. Let's go to Pennsylvania this week. So I click on Pennsylvania, and you'll see like FanDuel, $1,000 no sweat first bet. BetMGM, $1,000 risk free bet. DraftKings, $1,000 bonus deposit. Bet Rivers, $500. Points bet up to $2,000. Unibet, $250. Goes on and on and on. So what they do here at WSN.com differently than if you just Google and say you want to go to a certain site to bet or something. WSN has negotiated unbelievable deals for you guys to get down on, but you have to go through the WSN link, WSN.com, for all your sports betting needs. Now, we're talking about the bonuses, which is my favorite area. However, there's great articles, information. All of our podcasts are up there, predictions, odds, news. More importantly, too, now, is I love the information of the U.S. sports betting news. I can't get this on any other site. These are articles that are updated daily. Literally talking about Illinois, Nebraska, Washington, D.C., Missouri, Maryland. This is 6 different articles on 6 different states. So learn what's going on in your area and your jurisdiction. Get those bonuses, WSN.com.
Guys, thanks for the being patient during the break in the interview, and we'll take you back to our little chat with Darren right now.
Right. Are you on the internet every night, like eBay and stuff, or is there more even meticulous sites?
I spend about 20 hours a week canvassing auction houses and eBay and that kind of thing. But it's a revenue stream for me.
Sure,
it's not. It's not
a hobby. Yeah,
I enjoy the things I have, but it is a revenue stream for me.
How often do you get pitched where someone calls you and says, "Hey, I have this. Are you interested?" Does that happen daily?
Sometimes. I still use the one major problem I have is once I win something on eBay, right? I have an alias to win it, but once I win it, you have to send it to me, and it says Darren Rovell won it, and about I would say 2% of the time, people will say, "Oh, I messed up," or right, and then they'll try to because they say like, "Oh, this guy does this stuff. I sold it to him for cheap," right? I bought the first game Vin Scully ever broadcast, a BU football game in 1948 for $100.
Wow.
The guy then claimed he lost it, and then I saw it back on eBay for $2,500, and he sold.
So what he's saying, they see he's buying under his own name,
right?
And they say,
that's messed up.
Right, it's going to get sent to me. I mean, I wouldn't, and people go, well, why wouldn't you have it sent somewhere else? It's like, well, because some of these things are really valuable. I want it sent to my house.
Sure.
I don't want it to a PO box, something like that. And then like an arbitrage situation, which is like just an example is there recently was a auction where they had a ticket from the 1961 Cavern Club. So the Cavern Club in Liverpool, they did not disclose that this pass got you into Beatles concert number 1. So I bought it for $480, and then you get it slabbed as Beatles concert #1, and boom, it's 50,000.
Wow! And you bought it for $480.
Yeah. So that's kind of like, and that's the fun of it. That's the fun of, and the rule. I have another rule. If I'm Darren Rovell and you're talking to me as, hey, Darren, do you want to buy this? I am compelled, as someone who loves the market and as someone who cares about my brand and my name, I am compelled to give you fair market value. But if it's in an auction or if it's on eBay and you have it up there and you don't know what it is, it's fair game, right? I recently got a ticket to the 1968 Harvard-Yale game, which is famously called Harvard Wins 21-21. And Harvard and Yale in 1968, they were both undefeated. And Meryl Streep was dating the Yale quarterback, and the offensive tackle for Harvard was a guy named Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh my God!
And Harvard came. This was not the era of pass happy offenses, and Harvard came all the way back. And because they tied and they had a perfect record, and both teams had a perfect record, because Harvard came back, the next day the Harvard Crimson, the paper said Harvard wins 21-21, and it became the famous game that there was a documentary about. And this poor guy put up a list of Harvard tickets, and I picked this off for a couple dollars. It's worth a couple thousand.
Wow. Cool stuff.
And the other part about this that I think, Bill, you'd be fascinated with is, you can almost write a program for anything. You can't write a program for this. This is a lot about understanding history, So that also gives me an advantage that I have, which is like, I just have a lot of things stuck in my head.
Cool. Let me ask you, because now we know what you do. How did you get into this? Well, first tell us, when you grew up, where did you grow? Did you grow up on the East Coast?
On Long Island.
On Long Island. Okay. You grew up on Long Island. How did you get into media? How did you get into broadcasting? How did you get into this collectibles?
I had always collected. I used to send away from 1987 to 1989. I got 17 autographs from Michael Jordan by sending away to Chicago Stadium. Years later, I found out they were all fake, signed by his secretary.
Oh my God!
At least I enjoyed it when I was a kid. I had a card business. I think early trading cards and going to shows taught me about business more than anything else. I went to Northwestern. I wanted to be in sports media. I did not want to toil in the small markets. And my dad was a niche guy. He was a guy who had a PhD in biophysics and biochemistry and a marketing degree. And he, at a time when scientists were not talking to the marketers of these medical companies, he had a consultancy company that basically bridged the gap. And he never said, son, you should do something that has like a niche, but kind of by osmosis and watching him, I realized that I couldn't just be a sports reporter. I had to do something like cover the business of sports so that I could be the best in the world at it, and I could rise more quick than if I were just to do regular sports reporting, where I'd have to snake my way through the smallest markets in America and make $13,000 a year. So my junior year at Northwestern, I started a sports business radio show, the only one in the country. And anytime anything happened in sports, since I said I was the only one in the country, they didn't know it was a student station. Like Ray Rhodes got fired as the coach of the Green Bay Packers, and Jesse Jackson started making noise about it was because he was black. Why fire him after a year? I call up Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson's on my show, talking to team presidents, CEOs, and all of a sudden I'm like, wow, like I've built up this Rolodex. ESPN comes to campus my senior year. I tell them, hey, I'm just really interested. Like, why won't you allow like the AP or Reuters to have the copy on some baseball story, but you're really defensive about Peter Gammons and, Andy Katz doing the college basketball? Why? And the guy who wasn't an HR person, he was a high up executive named David Albright, said, well, because we have pride. I go, so why don't you have pride when there's a dollar sign in the story? Why are you using all these AP stories for how much a stadium is costing, or when there's a contract and it's not written by? And he said, that's a good question. And I said, give me a shot to be your sports business reporter. And, you know,
boom.
3 weeks after I graduated, I was the ESPN sports business reporter.
Wow, so cool. Oh, good. I just didn't want to know. I wanted to know.
And then over the years, go to business. The gambling stories go up from 20 to 40 to 50 to 70, and it's 2018. I'm sitting here in New Jersey, and I'm like, God, this is how many businesses do you get to see the maturity before your eyes when you know that the rest of the world is coming? Not many businesses. And so I asked myself, could I do much more reporting on the business of gambling, and can I make this move? And I asked ESPN, I said, are you guys deep into this? Are you committed? And they said, we can't be. And I said, all right, can you let me out of my contract? And that's when I joined the Action Network.
Oh, wow. And, we did a show. That's when the Action on Showtime came to me to do this show.
Right.
Darren was on it also. And that was really the start right then and there. And it seems like from that show, since now it's fashionable. It's everywhere. I went to Yankee Stadium, all three, center field, right field, left field. There's promotions for
everything.
Yeah. It's just so different. But
I mean, it's interesting. What would ESPN say today if you asked them that? They would have had a different answer, probably, right?
Yeah, they were all in.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
that's ESPN. They're purposefully 4 years behind everything.
Right.
Yeah, they're sports betting is a revenue stream.
So crazy.
And
it's not that long ago. It's 4 years.
It's 4 years.
It's nothing.
That's right. Well, this has been great, Darren. Really appreciate you taking your time with us.
Oh, wait. I have one last question.
Ahead.
One last one. It's not memorabilia related, but you're a sports guy. Is it possible I see Aaron Judge wearing a Dodger uniform next season?
Sure, but the question is that smart for him to do? He'll have the LA taxes. He'll have the California taxes. You get your 13.3%, highest in the nation. And what does he lose from not being a Yankee? So what Aaron Judge has to realize, if he's going to go up to if it's going to be a 13-year deal for $500 million, like money is not absolute. He has to know before he goes into this negotiation, how much is it worth it to him to be a Yankee for life? I would argue it's worth between 50 and 70 million.
Wow. Per year.
So no, total.
Oh, total. I thought you meant like per year.
In total.
Salary
50 to 70 million in total to be a Yankee for life.
Oh.
I actually think he's okay. I think the best deal he can get is the highest money he can make if it's not the Yankees to take the Mets offer, because being in New York matters. And I also think that it's not as bad Mets to Yankees as it is, Mets to Red Sox or something else. Mets to Dodgers, Yankees to Dodgers is not horrible, even though they are age-old rivals. I just think you get into the tax situation, you're paying 5% more tax, and then you're going to get into, well, you're a Yankee and a Dodger, and long term, that becomes an issue.
And so then your answer would be the same thing, because I have a lot of friends who are saying, no, he'd never be a Dodger. He's coming to the Giants because that's where he's from and all that stuff. You'd say the same thing. Taxes, California. Yeah.
Yeah, taxes again.
And what do you think that ball's worth, the 61 and 62? Are they overblowing that? Do you think it's worth as much as they're saying?
I think that guy better get it to auction soon, because we're not going to forget about it. But listen, I messed up once really bad. I'll share it with you. Sure. I bought the New York Times signed by Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins from the day they landed on the moon. I bought it for $28,000. My strategy was to sell it on the week of the 50th anniversary. I messed up. I decided I had a big enough name and I could sell it myself instead of go through Christie's. If I sold it through Christie's, I would have probably sold it for 250, 300 grand. I missed the week that it was, right? And it was the week after the 50th anniversary. Prices probably went down 200% from the week before. So timing is very, very important. There is nothing that is absolute. And I think every week we go away from it, it's losing more money.
Gotcha. So the longer there goes, the less value it's worth. One of our last things, one of our producers asked me a question here. It's in yellow. highlighted. Do you think now that Sam Ehlinger is a starting quarterback, he'll start making his signature? Will that start making his signature a little better? Yeah.
Oh my God! Oh, listen, I jam on guys who have disgusting autographs. If you're getting paid to sign an autograph in a pack, you have to make it legible is A, but B, it should probably be beautiful.
Right.
But I mean, he has like a little S and a little E, and it's like, what are you doing, buddy? Like, you think if that means that you're not understanding the end product of the kid opening the pack, because any kid would be disappointed.
Sure. Well, great. Well, Darren, thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate it. And anything we can do for you, let me know.
Maybe
right?
One day we'll talk about gambling.
Oh yeah, that'll be our next. That'll be our next one. Sorry, your subject was so interesting to a lot of people.
I love talking. I love talking about it.
Yeah.
I love talking.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
You got it. Take care.
Wow, that guy is really cool to talk to. The amount of sports memorabilia that guy's got. He's got a lot of money, Bill. How much money does he have to have? Come on.
I don't know. He's got
millions.
He's got millions of followers. I'll say that. I don't want his bankroll out there.
So he got $2 a follower at least, right?
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting to talk to someone like that that's in that game. And that, by the way, during like the COVID and stuff, and not that we're not still in COVID, but during the height of COVID, memorabilia collecting and stuff was up a zillion %. I mean, that's where a lot of people were making money. So
yeah,
hey.
Did you ever collect?
When I was a kid, I had baseball cards and stamps. I have no idea. The stamp collection was unbelievable.
Really?
I don't want to know how many six figures that was worth.
Oh no! And what'd you do with it? Just meaning
I left
it
in the attic of a house.
Come on.
Yep.
So someone made some money off of you.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. All right. Well, this was a good show, a fun show. Are you back next week?
Yeah,
Where are you? You're back next week?
Here.
All right. I like it. Keep the streak alive. We'll see you guys next week on Wise Kracks.